Welcome back to the Ark Survival Guide. I am really excited because today they just announced that the Valguero Map will be coming out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC in the near future. It is official, it's real, it's not just hype now. This map has been available as a mod on PC for a little while. They're still polishing it up, but they just announced that it is 100% sure going to come out as an official part of the game in the near future. Now it looks like it's going to have aberration elements, probably a new dinosaur, but I am just excited because it's got some incredible scenery to explore and build on. So today I am going to give you my first look at the Valguero map. I just got it running on PC, and even though it's not perfect, we'll get to see some of the coolest areas on this really breathtaking map. I'm going to show you some great base locations and give you the coordinates of where some of those are so you can already start planning out where you're going to play when this shows up on official. And I'll also show you some really cool areas. We'll do a little bit of exploring some of the secrets on the Valguero map, and this is just one of many map tours that I will be doing for the Valguero map in the near future, so keep an eye out for more of those. If you like what you see today, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell for notifications, and we will have a lot of fun exploring some of this beautiful new Valguero map. Alright, so this is my first look ever at the Valguero map, and I'm really excited to give you guys this Valguero map tour. I've actually been doing quite a few map tours lately on live stream and letting you all tell me where you'd like to go and what you'd like to see. Now, unfortunately, since I have to play Valguero on my PC right now to give you the sneak preview of the Valguero map, I can't live stream at the same time because it's about all my PC can handle to record and actually play at the same time. But we'll give you a quick rundown of this beautiful new map that is going to be coming out soon, and we'll show you some cool base locations and some of the really neat features of this new map. So the first place I'll show you is the default spawn zone, and that is these little tiny islands right here around 5342. And as far as I can tell, they're like little mini herbivore islands. You actually don't seem to have any significant predators here. Now they're very small, there's not a ton of resources, but probably enough resources to get you to a decent level, and it's a really nice to have like a starting zone where nothing's gonna just kill you right off the bat. At least nothing I can see so far. So this should be really nice. It'll actually feel like a real starting zone, and you can actually get to know how to play Ark without getting pounced on by a velociraptor every 5 minutes. So this will actually be a really great place for brand new Ark players to start playing their games. Now, getting off the island, you might have to run out to this little peninsula and swim as fast as you can and hope a shark doesn't get you, so that's definitely going to be an issue, but, as long as you can figure out how to safely get off the island, you should be in great shape. So the next place I want to show you guys is the Marble Cliffs, which are off in this direction on the southeastern side of the map. Now, I haven't toured this map for very long, so I'll be doing quite a few videos on the Valguero map, I think. But this is actually a cool little grassland area. It's right next to a lot of trees, so you can get lots of wood and stuff like that. But if you build a main base up here on this little plateau, you only really have to wall off a couple of sides of it to get the entire plateau to be a full, safe base you can make. And there's all these little spots where you can make a single wall and then have a base that's totally impervious to attacks. So this spot right here is really awesome. You could probably even build a nice castle up on top of this spire here, but either of these spots would be really cool for a base, and they are right here at about 6450. Now, if you're wondering why my Griffin is flapping so fast, I've got this game running a little bit fast so I can give you guys a good overview of the map without taking forever. But there's a lot of really cool little rock formations around this map that I'll show you. Now, this next section is the Marble Cliffs, or White Cliffs, as a lot of people are calling them. And that's this whole grassland up in this direction, so anywhere from here towards the corner of the map. And it's like an African savanna almost, but it's very lush, a lot of green. Not super highly dense trees, but there's a really cool little crack in the ground. And if we drop into this cavern here, there's just a lot of cool stuff to see down here. There's like waterfalls everywhere, lots of plants and trees, and just this really cool canyon. It kind of reminds me of the Ragnarok Canyon, but it's got beautiful formations, and I really like this area. Now, for some reason, my version of Valguero, some of the water is not displaying properly, so you'll see a lot of what looks like dry riverbeds, but they actually have water in them. I got too close to one and ended up falling off my mount, so that's something to keep in mind. But a lot of these cliffs and plateaus have really awesome places to build on them. And this is one of my favorite things right here. Let me get a little higher up. Now, it's right here, and here we go. There is a big chasm on the inside of this whole place, and just like an underground world. You can't even see this from outside, but I thought that was really cool. Slow down a little bit so you can see it better. Beautiful water on this map. I love the trees and the landscape, but the rock formations just really take the cake. I mean, it's just awesome. Now, this area looks like a dry mud flat, but that's actually water there, so it's like a little coral-filled lake, which is actually pretty darn cool. So we've got some nice land bridges all over the place, and I've heard there are trails that stretch across the entire Valguero map, all over the place. So apparently you can just use these roads to get just about anywhere. Now up here we've got a lot of plateaus and just some really cool stuff, but if you want a good view, I mean, something like this would just be an epic place to build a castle. So lots of really cool stuff up here, and I love the scenery. So right now we are kind of up on the corner, southwestern corner of the map here. So just do one more quick little pass and see how this looks. And then we'll start heading up into some of the more northern areas. So this is actually just some awesome stuff. Like back here, you've got a whole cave. Now, I don't know how ambitious you are, but if you're an alpha tribe, you could wall off a good section of this cavern and just kind of be underneath this overhang. So very cool stuff. So now we're going to start heading towards the eastern jungles, and there's some really cool stuff up there too. By the way, all of this is awesome waterfalls and corals and all that stuff. You can kind of see the base of that waterfall where the water actually is, but this is an awesome lake just full of just really beautiful stuff. I would love to have a base right here in the middle of this island. And the location of this is right here. So that's another cool spot that would be just really fun to live. Now, you'd probably have to cut down every tree nearby to build a decent sized base, so that's definitely going to be an issue on Valguero. In a lot of these places, we may see a lot of tree shortages, so thankfully we've got gigantic redwood forests, so that should solve a lot of that problem right there, as long as you've got a way to haul all that wood back up to your bases. So we're getting back down to some of these beaches here. And once again, just beautiful waterfalls all over this map. I am loving all these things. So now we're kind of up along the eastern side of this map. So we're going to start to get into some of the jungle areas. So as you can see, it's getting a lot more tropical, a lot deeper greens. We've got some obsidian on some of these cliffs. These are actually some pretty cool spots here. From what I understand, there's actually a new type of metal, and I think that's this stuff over here, like new resources on Valguero. I also have heard that there's an entire aberration section underground in Valguero, so hopefully this will be a pretty cool addition to our Ark adventures. Now, right here we've actually got some metal up on these cliffs, and we're just kind of up on these cliffs above the swamp area. So here on the map, you can see there's this big brown section, and that is all just a huge swampland. So we're going to explore that a little bit. But I really like these jungles that are surrounding it. I'm sure there's going to be lots more trees, and it'll be more polished by the time we're actually ready to launch this on all the consoles, but Valguero is still a pretty cool spot. Now, this is all on the edge of the jungle. We've got some, hey, a tapejara. I always love those guys. Down near the jungle, we've got a lot of swampland, and this swampland is real dangerous because this whole area down here in this valley is a swamp. But I really like this place. Let's see, where is that? There's a really cool spot that's like on top of some waterfalls. Oh, let's check out the green obelisk too, because this is actually pretty awesome. I love how the green obelisk looks in this map. Just waterfalls all around, and it's got this cool little rock formation right here. That is just pretty awesome looking. So, very cool areas in this map. I'm gonna pull up the location. That's the green obelisk right there. And if you want to go into the jungle, just follow that green obelisk and you'll get there. Now, these areas have lots of trees, so if you're low on trees, this is a great place to go. Of course, jungles always have tons of trees, but I love the ruins that are up here overlooking the swamp. Of course, if you fall down a cliff, you're pretty much toast because then you're in the swamp, but there's a lot of cool little bridges and ruins up here that you can go explore in the jungles just above the swamp. And you've actually got all these like staircases that lead up to temples that are high up in the mountains. And I believe up at the very top, we're going to have like an Indiana Jones style temple all the way up here. So lots of very cool stuff at the top of this staircase, which seems to go all the way up to the top of this mountain. Here we go. So check this out. That is just some cool spot here. All these green crystals. You can actually open this temple and go inside. I mean, this is just some awesome stuff, and it's got quite a view. So I believe that's going to be one of the caves. And, you might not want to build there if you're playing with other people, but on my solo servers, it's going to be really fun. So that is like the very top of the jungle, and we've got a lot of other cool ruins that are down here too. And, of course, lots of metal. And this whole area is right here on the very eastern center of the map, so right about 4586. And that's going to be a really fun place to explore later on. So let me head down through some of this jungle, and there's some other cool places too. So the very north side of the swamp, we have these awesome waterfalls up here. And at the top of the waterfalls are some really cool ruins, so check that out. It's like a plateau in the middle of the falls, and we've got some bridges leading over to it. So even though you can technically get up to these areas, this might be a really cool place to build. Now, of course, for some reason my water is not working on this version of Valguero, but this whole area is a huge lake, and it's got all of this coral and just really cool plant life in this big lake. So this is a pretty awesome spot, and these gigantic trees here may actually allow you to collect tree sap too, because that's how it is on the Ragnarok map. They've got some huge trees like those, and you can just put a sap tap in them and get lots of tree sap. Apparently we've got a lot of tapejaras today too, which is always fun. Now up here we've got lots of awesome waterfalls, got a very cool lake up at the top of the jungle. And this is another awesome spot. I mean, there's just so much beautiful scenery on this map, and I'm sure it's going to look even better by the time it hits consoles. But all along the eastern edge of this map are just some beautiful places. Whoop. And there's the edge of the map. Don't want to get too far there. It looks like they're still developing some spots on this version that I've downloaded, but we're probably going to have a lot more areas that we can explore later on too, so that's going to be fun. Now, a good chunk of this map is going to be snow biome. If you look on my map here, this entire white stripe right below my fingernails that really need a manicure, I'm going to go get one of those as soon as I get a chance, I have just all this snow. Like this whole area on the northern side is just these majestic snow mountains. So if you're into, Nice alpine views, you like the snow. This is just a really great spot to live. It's just beautiful up here. There's a whole lot of cliffs, a lot of mountains you can climb. You can get some epic views if you build a castle on some of these mountains. And of course, we've got some serious crystal and, lots of good resources in the north, as we always have. Looks like we've got some former avalanches and stuff like that going on back here too. It's just pretty darn cool. And up here, where these wolves look like they've wiped out the whole civilization, very nice spot for a base if you live up here. And let me grab the coordinates for this too. I think that would be a pretty awesome spot to have a plateau up here looking out over this entire map. So a lot of this snow area, I won't explore too far into it, but there's just a whole lot of snow. Lots of good resources, lots of dangerous dinos, and way too much cold for my liking. But, whatever floats your boat, right? Now, there are some awesome places you can get down into the cracks where there's lava and all kinds of crazy stuff down in some of these places. So we've got, it looks like that centipede just caught on fire and died. That's super fun. It's so much more fun watching this stuff on fast motion. But a lot of these basalt pillars, you can head even further down and we get these lava tubes and lava caves, and some of this stuff just looks awesome. So we won't explore too far into this today, but later on you can get into some crazy cave systems, and eventually we'll go into some of the aberration areas and check all that out too. But for now, I'm just going to show you guys the entrance to this so that I don't have too much overheating or anything like that. I've got my HUD turned off and I don't want to spontaneously burst into flames. But here is the entrance to this. We've got all these cool snow crystals, all this basalt pillars. And you wouldn't even know this area was here if you looked at it from far away. So very cool stuff. I really love some of the scenery on this map. And this would be another really interesting and cool place to live. It looks like both sides of this chasm have lava tubes going down them, so you can have a lot of fun with that. If you're getting too cold up here in the snow biome, you can just hang out in the lava. It'll be so much warmer for you. Now up here, you can actually hear the ice cracking. That's kind of cool. So got some serious glaciers up here in the very northern areas. So at this point, I'm kind of like right in the middle of the North Snow biome, but there's just, a lot of really cool ice formations. If you like this kind of thing, you're gonna love it up here. So that's some pretty fun stuff. A lot of good plateaus to build on. So a lot of the northern side is just sort of like wastelands. You get a lot of just sort of gray and brown areas, and they're just sort of sparse mountains all up in this area. So I won't explore that too much, but there's a lot of cool plateaus you can build bases on, and just a lot of fun stuff. So we'll definitely explore over by the red obelisk later, but there's not a whole lot to see here. I'm gonna get some air so you can get a better view. But a lot of that is just sort of empty canyons right now. They may add a lot more to it later on, but for now, it's not too much to see. Now, I may be starving to death at this point, which is super fun because I didn't bring any food. But we got a cool cave entrance right here. I'm sure there's something real interesting down there, but we are running a little bit low on time because I am dying. Let me just actually check my HUD here. Okay, I'm dying of dehydration. I can fix that. Let's pop down to this cool little lake that's down here in the middle. We'll get a quick drink and then keep moving on. I really like these waterfalls down here. It's going to be distracting having me constantly groaning in pain as I'm dehydrating, but this is a cool little area. I like the waterfalls. A lot of good trees up here on top of the falls, so if you're looking for good resources, a lot of water, a lot of trees, it's a nice spot to be. So give me 1 second here. Just, excuse me jumping off this guy for a sec. So now I will be a lot less annoying and I'll stop whining. There we go. And we're back. So let's see what we got here. We're right up here, and we're going to keep exploring a little bit further towards the west, and then we'll check out some of the redwoods down on the south too. So there's just a lot of big open areas up here, lots of room to spread out. I'd imagine this would be pretty fun on a PvE server because there's plenty of cool places for people to build. I don't think there'd be anywhere near as much fighting over some of the best spots as there are on, especially small maps like the island, but a lot of cool places up here. Of course, we got some T-Rexes up in this area. Very cool rock formations, though. I love the art on this map. It's just fun. Looks like we got quite a lot of little valleys here. That cave probably goes into some interesting stuff. Or maybe it just, is a little tunnel on the way to this side. But once again, some beautiful waterfalls. I love these waterfalls. Now, I'll be doing some base videos later, show you guys some of the coolest base locations on this map, but I'm willing to bet there's some cool spots around here that you could build in and have a lot of fun, so we'll be showing you those when we check them out a little bit more. And before the map actually goes live, I will probably have a ton of coverage on this. So, this area reminds me a lot of the Barren cliffs on Ragnarok that are up near the castle. Very cool area. Just a lot of dead trees and stuff. Oh, that Argent looks pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen something glowing purple like that, so yeah, I'm gonna leave him alone, give him a lot of space. We'll have to figure that out later, but if anybody knows why those Argents are glowing purple, I would be very curious to find that out. So drop me a comment if you know the answer to that. I actually learn a lot from you guys too, so I always appreciate when you, answer my questions too. And I always try to answer yours, so anytime you have a question, drop a comment. I will do my best to answer it for you. So we're getting into some just, it feels a lot like a North American temperate forest, kind of like the mountains up here in the Georgia mountains. I like to go up there for vacations, fun stuff. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff to see up here, but I'm not going to spend too much time in this area because it's a little bit desolate for my taste. But I did notice somewhere up here is a cool castle. We're up here by the blue obelisk. And let me see if I can get a little closer here. There's a lot of just dead and frozen trees, but there's also some cool ones, like there's some cherry blossom trees around. Now, I don't actually know yet where the entrance to the Aberration Rift is, but apparently, after a while, you can get really deep into some caverns, and there's like an entire Aberration section too, so that should be really interesting and fun. So we got some ice caves down here. I don't really know exactly how far this chasm goes back, and I won't explore too far, but there's some other really cool landscape back in here. If you're not afraid of the cold, some fun places to build right here below the blue obelisk. I guess that's fitting that this whole area is blue ice, so that makes sense. But very cold, but very cool up here. Oh, looks like we're running into some barriers again, so I think it's about time for us to start heading back down to the south. So, really good view up in this area though. Woo, okay. It was a little too fast for my liking. Probably shouldn't be doing any dives like that into narrow caverns when I'm playing on 1.5 speed. Just a little bit fast. So, most of this stuff is kind of barren wasteland, and then we've got a big redwood area towards the south here. So, let's see if I can get a little bit of extra speed. Main reason I fly around on griffins is they're very mobile, but they have this dive move which lets you just go really fast, and that's the fastest way to cover a lot of ground when you're flying. So with infinite stats and a little bit sped up speed, this thing can go crazy fast. Now this spot here is a nice little ruin. We've got a whole castle over here, and that's right about here. This would be a kind of fun place to live. It's not a Ragnarok castle size, but it's still a castle, You can't really snub your nose at a castle. That's always fun. And I'll see if I can find some of this area up here, but there's some more castles that are actually just kind of on these cliffs. Beautiful waterfalls, as always. I'm always a big fan of that. And I'm sure there's really nice water at the base that I just can't see because my map is being dumb. But still cool. Very cool area up here. I'll give you the location here. Yep. It's right here on the edge of the map. And we're getting kind of close to the red obelisk now. We're just kind of cruising along the side of the map. Now, I really can't tell if this is all water. If it is, it's going to be beautiful when this comes to consoles. So this might be some really awesome area here. Now, some of these would make nice base locations. We've got, a lot of big plateaus, some huge bridges that are, bridging these gaps. So this would be a fun place to live and build. You could have some really high cliffs that you can be pretty safe on if you can block off a lot of this area. And up here you've got a nice water supply too, so I think this would be pretty easy to defend. There's a lot of area to cover up here on these plateaus, but they make some nice areas to build too. So you can see I'm slowly uncovering this map as I've been flying around a little bit. So let's see how we're... Oh, nope, that's not going to work. Okay. Nope, just kidding. That's a barrier. Yep. So this seems to be the section that's not really finished, and now I remember that's why I do not have it uncovered on my map. This is all new. So I'm sure they will add a lot of redwood forest area down here by the time this comes to console. I think I've got a slightly outdated version of this Valguero map, but it still can give you a pretty good idea of what's going to be out here. So unfortunately my game crashed right around here, but that's probably a good place to stop anyway because we have seen most of the new Valguero map at this point. But this is just the first of many Valguero map tours we are going to do on this channel, so if you liked what you saw today, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications and it will tell you when the next video comes out. And I will probably do some very good in-depth base location tours for the Valguero map, and a lot of other good stuff will be coming on the way. I also have a survival guide series which will teach you all kinds of tips and tricks on how to play Ark, and you can go from being a beginner on Ark that knows nothing about the game to a pro who has so much fun just from watching these videos. So I hope you'll watch some other videos on this channel, or if you want to see me play some Nintendo Switch games with my wife, it's a whole lot of fun. We have a new YouTube channel called the Console Co-op Couple, and you can check the homepage of this channel or a link in the description and jump over there. We would love it if you subscribe and watch some of those videos too. So until next time, I hope your Ark adventures are lots of fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching this video from the Ark Survival Guide. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more great guides like this one. Ark is an amazing game, but there is so much to learn before you can really enjoy it. We are dedicated to bringing you high-quality guides, tutorials, and Let's Play videos that are fun, helpful, clean, and suitable for the entire family. There's a tutorial in this series for everything we have done so far in this video. Check out these playlists for more episodes from this series and other guides to help you enjoy your journey on Ark.